We return now live with President Jimmy Carter, who has a brand new book out. It is called Beyond the White House. And I want to talk about this book because I was reading it last night. And I got the sense that you went, and the Carter Center went on so many of these diplomatic missions, sort of outside of the purview of the government. You're in Haiti. You're in Bosnia.
North Korea.
North Korea. Were you unhappy with the way the Clinton administration picked up on the seed work, the tilling of the soil that you did in some of those trouble spots?
Well, I have had a policy since the Carter Center was formed of not going into a very sensitive political arena of the world without at least tacit approval from the White House.
Right.
So a lot of times we've been blocked from going when I thought we could do some good. Mm-hmm. But in the case of North Korea, I did get finally approval from Bill Clinton to go to North Korea, but after I had been invited for 3 years to go and try to ease the tension there. And we worked out a deal where North Korea gave up its nuclear program for that time being, which later President Clinton adopted as his own policy, which is very good.
Right.
In the case of Sudan, that's the only complaint I've had against the Clinton administration. They never did go along with our effort to bring peace to Sudan. So after George W. Bush was elected, I went to his inauguration after he won the difficult election in Florida. I was the only volunteer Democrat there along with my wife. And on the reviewing stand, he asked if I had any favors to ask. And I said, yes. The only thing I'd like you to do is to try to bring peace to Sudan, which he did. Mm-hmm. So he has done a very good job in Sudan. Mm. But we've gone only when we were invited by both sides to a serious debate or potential conflict, and with at least the sometimes reluctant approval of the White House.
Right. If Hillary Clinton were to end up in the White House, do you think she would do a better job vis-a-vis some of the work that you've done and her receptiveness to it?
Than her husband?
Yes.
Well, I think that Bill Clinton did a good job. The only complaint I've had about him was in Sudan, where his administration seems to have had an urgent desire to overthrow the government in Khartoum, which was impossible. Mm-hmm. And they, in effect, blocked all peace efforts there.
You're just back from there.
Yes.
You're working with Richard Branson's group, this group called the Elders, Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, on the ground. You talked to Bashir al-Bashir?
Oh, yes, several times. I've known Bashir since he was a colonel.
Does he get it?
Oh, yes, he's quite aware. He's quite knowledgeable. He's now been the leader of the country for 18 years. Yeah. He is intimately involved in everything that goes on there. He's a very intelligent person.
People are dying. Hundreds of thousands, perhaps as many as 200,000 have died. The situation in these camps are absolutely deplorable, as bad as they could be imagined.
Yes, we were in the camps this past week.
Right. And the world allows this to go on. Is there a solution? Is there a way forward? Does Bashir show any signs of being malleable?
Well, yes. In Abuja 2 years ago, Bashir approved the Darfur peace agreement, but only one of the rebel groups agreed. Mm-hmm. And now there's another effort being made by the United Nations and the European Union on the 27th of October in Tripoli, Libya, to reconvene peace talks, and Bashir is completely amenable to going there. He doesn't know who's going to be across the table from him because the rebel groups are now fragmenting into many little parts, and they're fighting with each other. So Darfur is a very complex area, and I would say that the government itself, under Bashir, has less and less control over what's going on in that troubled region.
Yeah. The last time you were here, you were talking about your then most recent book, Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid, which caused all kinds of controversy. You had numbers of your board of counselors from the Carter Center resign. There are people who said, Jimmy Carter, this is not your job. You have taken a side here. In the time that's transpired since, and as there's an effort to try to get peace talks sort of going again over there, do you have any regrets about what you said?
No, not at all. The book is absolutely correct, and I think was necessary, and has played a good role and was overwhelmingly approved, although there were some that objected to it. The book was written about Palestine, not Israel, and the second word in the title, as you just mentioned, was peace. Not apartheid. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people adopted the word apartheid as the number one thrust of the book, and it's not even mentioned in the book, as a matter of fact. But I think that the peace effort that's belatedly going to be attempted in November is a very good development. As you know, for 7 years since Bill Clinton left office, we've had not a single day of good faith negotiations between Israel and its neighbors, and it's highly overdue. And my hope is that we'll see some constructive efforts being made on the Palestinian side and the Israeli side when they convene in the United States in November.
There you go. President Carter, good to see you again. Thank you so much for coming by.
It's always good to be with you.
Do appreciate it. And you can read an excerpt from Beyond the White House on our website at cbsnews.com.